If you kind of think about it, I'm an endangered species to the video game World of Warcraft. That's because I started playing the game in early 2023 for the very first time.
Serious?
You might be asking, why did I wait so long to play the video game? And that's because my parents taught me growing up that I should stay away with anything with demons and magic in it. My Christian-loving parents, they really did a good job raising me. I have no complaints about it whatsoever, but I wasn't able to watch Harry Potter growing up. It's a bummer. It's just been over a year since I started playing World of Warcraft, and I truly have gone on quite the adventure. To be honest with you, you probably went on a similar adventure as well. You start playing the game for the very first time, you make it to end level, then you start doing raids in the game, you get some really cool gear, and you're basically on top of the world. At one point, I actually did some mythic raid bosses. I felt like I really am a Giga Chad in World of Warcraft. And then one of the new patches came out. That's when I realized my gear wasn't good anymore. Wait a second, I have to get new gear? The stuff that I had previously it's the biggest piece of dog shit? What are you talking about? And that's what actually made me get a bit burnt out of World of Warcraft. So of course you do other things like try out vanilla or even dabble in hardcore. Of course that didn't really float my boat because it was a grind and I really didn't have other players to play with. So I uninstalled the game. I canceled my membership. Okay, wait, hold on. Don't boo me. Hold on a second. You know how it is. Eventually a couple months go by and you rejoin World of Warcraft. Instead of picking an Alliance character, I chose a Horde character and leveled up a brand new character to max level. And with how fast time flies, it's now been over 1 year since I've been playing World of Warcraft. And the question that might be on your mind right now is, why is he still playing this old game? In this video, I'll dive more into detail as to what World of Warcraft is for a new player. And I'll explain a bit deeper as to what I have planned for 2024 and why I still play this video game. This is World of Warcraft, 1 year later, from a brand new player's perspective. The first thing we gotta talk about is your first steps with an Azeroth. If you're gonna try to convince your friend to play this video game, please handhold them, be alongside there with them, answer any questions that they might have as they're leveling up, because there's a lot of things that don't make sense when you first spawn into the game. For one thing, you really don't know where to go. There's a lot of questions that you have as to what menus bring up what. What's the button again that brings up your backpack? Which items should I sell at this vendor? Do you know where the MSQ quest is? Like, I don't know where to go next. These are all questions that I was asking my friend stankylegs when I first started playing World of Warcraft. Luckily, he was there to help me out. Thank you very much, stankylegs. Now I'm still playing this video game because of you. Seriously, this is what you made me do. How dare you? But without my friend stankylegs, I still wouldn't be playing this video game to this day. He really addressed all my questions out of the gate, so I had a good foundation when I started leveling up my character to know where to go. Now here's the tricky part. See, there's a lot of different ways you can level up a character. Like, some people will point you in BFA. That's where I entered in at first and I was questing there. Other people will say, hey, do all the expansions in order. That's a lot of content to get through. I don't know if I can do that and not be burnt out about playing the game. But a lot of people will go, hey, play the newest expansion. In order to get there though, you have to be level 60. So of course, that's when I started leveling up. What's the fastest way to do it? Dungeon spamming. Just hopping into dungeons with a bunch of people, doing the dungeon, doing another dungeon, rinse and repeat all day until eventually you'll get to level 60. That's a great way to level up and get there fast, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not exploring the open game world. I really don't know what my skills are in my skill bar because everything's kind of being dumped onto my skill bar very quickly. I don't have enough skill bars active. I have to go into the options menu and enable the other skill bars because there's so many things being piled onto my skill bar. Like, why is there so many skills? I'm drowning in skills. Ah! What I'm trying to prove here is the combat for World of Warcraft, it's overwhelming at first. There's too many skills to click on. I really don't know what to do. So you really need someone either there to kind of handheld you and basically say, hey, this is the skills that you should use. Pay attention to these mechanics for your class. Or look up a YouTube video or a guide on any other website. That's probably a good idea as well. So of course, when I hit that journey of getting to dragonflight, I had a really good time there. I was doing the main story quest and of course exploring the open world. The mounts in Dragonflight are a blast, and that was really fun to kind of do that area of the game and enjoy the modern, I guess, current expansion of World of Warcraft, because it's got this different level of touch and detail compared to the things that were added in 2008 or 2011. That doesn't mean the old content is bad to do. You can always dive back in and enjoy that content. But to be honest with you, it's not the same appeal when you're going through and like one-shotting things. That's not my biggest thing that I like to do. A lot of people like to do it because you can find old weapon skins or old mount skins and farm that out. But it's really cool when they scale that content up via like time walking, I guess is what it's called, for dungeons or raids. That's a lot of fun because essentially you get to play the content a bit more challenging compared to just going back to the old years of that content back in the day. But I had a goal when playing Dragonflight. I wanted to jump into raids. Raids are so much fun in this video game, especially the modern day ones, not the old ones when you're one-shotting the Lich King and all that kind of jazz. No, the modern day ones where there's actually a challenge. You know, you gotta make sure you look at your item level when you hop into these raids. You gotta know the mechanics. There's a lot of things to kind of, you know, just learn out of the gate before you can become a pro at being actually a member of the team that is helping out in raids. Of course I died a lot. I still die a lot when I play raids in World of Warcraft, but I have a great time enjoying it. For the most part, the community is super helpful when you're raiding. You can always say, hey, I'm new when joining a group, and they'll be very tolerant and have a lot of patience to kind of train you and basically teach you the mechanics as to what to do. Once I was able to do that first raid in Dragonflight and do the mythic version of it, eventually when my item level was high enough, that's when I was like, dang. This is World of Warcraft. Like, I'm having so much fun here. I'm not a huge fan of doing Mythic Plus. Like, that was a great way to get item level gear, but it's not really my cup of jazz. There's like way too many things to look out for. Like when I was doing something like a Mythic 12 or a Mythic 15, I was just like overwhelmed. I know they kind of downscaled the numbers, so it's not really the same anymore, but still, it was really overbearing, and I think it's left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know if I'll dive back into Mythic Plus dungeoning. Dungeoning? Is that the word? Dungeoneering? I don't know. I don't know if I'll jump back into Mythic Plus. Maybe one day if I'm leveling up a new character. That's another way to keep things fresh, leveling up a brand new character. So when I hit max item level or an item level that I felt happy with on my first character that I was playing, I was kind of a bit lost. And especially when I waited until a new patch came out and it said, hey, you gotta get new gear now. Your item level's now too low. I was like, really, bro? Like, that's what... I don't want to do this again. Do I have to do this every single month? I was kind of burnt out at that point. And a good way to overcome this is to actually play all the other classes that are in the video game. Now, I have not touched every single class in World of Warcraft. I could not do this within a whole year, but I've taken my time as to diving into other classes. So originally, when I tried the game by myself, I started as a rogue, and I really didn't know what was going on. Eventually, stankylegs, he recommended a Shadow Priest, so I started playing Shadow Priest, and that's the first character I got all the way to max level. And then I got burnt out on the game when they told me to get new gear. But eventually, when I rejoined the game a couple months later, I made a Horde character, and I decided to go with Shaman. I was healing people with water. It was a good, different way of playing the game aside from the DPS things that Shadow Priest brings to the table. But once I hit max level with my Shaman, I'm like, oh my goodness, am I becoming an altaholic? I don't know what character to play. And I really haven't mastered both classes. Like, I'll be upfront with you. I kind of know what I'm doing with my Shadow Priest. With my Shaman, I'm kind of lost, like very much so lost, because sometimes I'm playing DPS and other times I'm playing healer, so it's just hard to learn everything up front. With both characters of my Shadow Priest and my Shaman, I was able to level them up through just spamming dungeons, and I don't think that's a good way to learn all the mechanics with your class and essentially understand all the skills that are landing in your skill bar. So since I really don't understand my Shadow Priest entirely or my Shaman like at all, I decided to do the smart thing and make a brand new character. Introducing moopliss, my fresh new rogue on Silvermoon. Now, if you don't know what kind of MMOs I play, I'm a big Guild Wars 2 player, and in that game, I play a thief. It's very similar to the rogue. Back then, I used to be a big range DPS doer, but I did a lot of condition damage, and I went into like a shadow form. So of course, Shadow Priest was the equivalent to what I enjoyed playing in Guild Wars 2. But as time has passed on, I actually started playing more as a thief with swords and daggers, kind of going into the shadows, doing a lot of hard DPS up front, not condition damage, just pure big numbers when I hit people in PvP. So, of course, when I'm looking now at World of Warcraft, I'm like, dang, actually Rogue is exactly that, and I want a taste of it. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is this. My time now with World of Warcraft, I'm gonna be leveling a rogue. I'm very excited for it because I don't want to dungeon spam. I really want to learn the class as time goes on. And the stuff that I actually want to try out, aside from raiding, of course, that's a guarantee, but I want to dive into PvP. See, for PvP in the video game, I never really got a taste of it because it still is overbearing. When I hop into PvP, people say I need specific PvP gear. Like, huh? What do you mean I need different gear? I just farmed everything out for the open world. Why can't I just play PvP with it? Whatever. It's very overwhelming, but I want to give it a shot as a rogue. I want to be some stealthy clown that stabs you in the back, and I'll probably get one shot from people, but I'll have fun giving it a shot nonetheless. I think if I do get bored of playing PvP or raiding within the video game, of course, the game mode Plunderstorm is so much fun to take a break from the open world retail experience. I'll just say I love battle royale games. I'm always jumping out of the battle bus playing Fortnite with my father. I actually got him hooked on the game a couple of years back. So now him and I bond over playing this video game together. So a battle royale in an MMORPG is fantastic. Like, I'm having a blast playing Plunderstorm, and to be honest with you, the only downside when it comes to Plunderstorm is, of course, the limited time event. Like, what do you mean this thing's not gonna last, like, forever? This should be a permanent game mode. The other thing I really don't like is the fear of missing out of the rewards for Plunderstorm. I'm still only like level 7 or 8. I really don't know. I'll show it on screen right here, but I'm a bit low in level. I have to get up to 40 in a couple of weeks before this limited time game mode disappears. There's no way they get rid of Plunderstorm, but Plunderstorm has been a good way to essentially tie me over when I'm done leveling in retail and I want to take a break from that. I'm enjoying Plunderstorm. I really hope they keep adding content into it and make it a permanent mode. It's amazing for any new players because the combat is super simplistic. You got one auto attack, you have one heal, and then you have 4 different skills that you can get. And lastly, you have this item skill that really gets you out of certain situations or can help you out in combat. Plunderstorm is awesome. I could talk about it like forever. If you want to watch my first time playing Plunderstorm, I do have a video on my channel that you can check out. Things I don't like about World of Warcraft. A lot of things. I think the combat is still overbearing, too many skills. I think we can get rid of like most of them, to be honest with you. It's a big reason why I love Guild Wars 2. There's only 10 skills on your skill bar. You have a little bit more if you're playing like an elementalist or an engineer where you're swapping between kits, so there's different skills that get introduced with the different kits. But essentially, if you're playing a regular class like a thief, you only have like 10 skills to worry about. And that's fantastic. I love that kind of aspect. It's very simplistic when it comes to open world PvP or just the game in general. So for World of Warcraft, when I see this many skills, I'm like, hell no. What are you talking about? I have to memorize 20 skills, sometimes 30 if I look at it. Not to mention, if you just sprinkle in a couple of mount skills in there, like most of your screen is literally just skills. That's annoying. I just want to look at the open game world. I don't want so much stuff on my screen. Like, get that out of there. I don't want this there. Like, no, I want to be able to see the game and see my character. Now, a lot of you are going to be saying, well, hold on, if skills are too much on your screen, I think something that you should have is add-ons. And I'm gonna go ahead and give my 2 cents about add-ons right now, especially because I'm a new player. So when I install World of Warcraft, a lot of people said, you don't have add-ons? Like, bro, you gotta have add-ons. If you don't have add-ons, you're not enjoying World of Warcraft. Bro, you should really get okay, I get it. I'll install add-ons. So I went ahead and installed CurseForge. That's just the entry ticket into add-ons. Now I gotta browse through hundreds or thousands of different add-ons. Overwhelming. I don't know what to do. I just asked my Twitch chat or my Discord community. They give me some good recommendations as to what add-ons I should have on, but now my game is totally different. I have to relearn everything from the ground up. And being a new player, still trying to learn things as the days go on, I'm overwhelmed. And when your game patches, like when Blizzard Entertainment adds a brand new patch, a lot of your add-ons need to be updated too. And now you have these annoying bubbles that pop up going, your add-ons are out of date. Like, bro, I just want to play the video game. It shouldn't be this overwhelming. There are tons of other video games that are out there that are very easy for people to jump into. Even other MMOs that don't allow add-ons. And when it comes to World of Warcraft, especially if you want to get into like raiding, for example, you should probably see the DPS meter. Like that's kind of important to really know how you're doing. Or even have announcements of like, there's some mechanic coming your way, look out for this, or it adds different colors on the floor, or whatever it is. Like, add-ons really help you out in the long run. And of course, there's a huge quality of life, like having add-ons so that you can take cool screenshots in the game, or look at your wardrobe or collections panel way more efficient. Add-ons are great, and I see the light of it, but there's also like this yin and yang. Like it's really overwhelming for a new player. I'll still use add-ons for the time being, but to be honest with you, I think the game would probably be a bit better if add-ons weren't forced upon everyone. Now, that's not to say you can install World of Warcraft and just play it as it is, but I think in general though, if you're gonna hop into raids and, you know, really enjoy the game for what it is, add-ons do heighten that experience for you in the long run. Whew! I don't want to end on such a negative note because, to be honest with you, World of Warcraft is an incredible video game. There's a lot of things that I haven't gotten to experience within WoW, like PvP, for instance. I just kind of dabbled into it, and I really want to understand that. There's so many open game worlds that have great music. Apparently, there's some really cool quest lines and awesome items that I can get in the game. So I'm super excited to continue playing World of Warcraft in 2024. That's right, I guess you can no longer call me a brand new player. I guess what am I now? Just an average WoW player? Is this new player experience gone and I'm just your normal average guy in World of Warcraft? I guess so. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
If you want to watch me play World of Warcraft, I stream it every single Wednesday. And I'm curious, if you're still playing WoW in 2024, let me know in the comments section down below. How do you keep yourself entertained? Like, what's your favorite game mode? Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. I appreciate you, SassPass. Thank you very much. And thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. As always, stay hydrated, gamers.